Welcome back. Time to answer the bell, if we had one, for round two with our panel this week, Jim Veros, Joe Kita, and Laura Tsutsui. We begin with the interview with TJ Cox over in Washington. And Joe, once again, guess what? You get the lead on this because, the Fresno Bee's been reporting about TJ Cox's business dealings, his investment dealings that weren't disclosed during the campaign trail. You even heard from Miguel Arias over there about the city audit with the Granite Park situation. Do you believe he's in the clear, at least when it comes to the Granite Park situation?
You know, there's still a lot of reporting that needs to be done on this. And if you saw what happened at the city council today, you had the city attorney making an opinion about this, that they're in compliance. And yet you got this audit hanging out there, which is, contradicting basically what the city attorney has to say.
That's a little odd, isn't it? Why would the city attorney, Doug Sloan, say that?
I have no idea, but I know that there needs to be more journalism on this. And so there's going to be more digging to try to get to the bottom of exactly what happened here.
Your thoughts, though, from TJ Cox saying, hey, I've done nothing wrong. This is a lot of those things I was divested in, and a lot of those dealings had nothing to do with the campaign.
Well, I mean, that's certainly his, prerogative to say that, and it's not our job really to draw those conclusions. But what our job is to tell you about them. And so this is relevant. This stuff is important. If you want to know what your member of Congress's business dealings are, I think that's an important part of, a voter's decision of whether they support someone or not. And we're just, giving you that information. So.
Laura, you're always in city council meetings. It's, I think, a hobby for you almost. Tell me about what you saw in Thursday's meeting when it comes to the Granite Park situation. And again, I said it wasn't on the agenda because it was buried.
It kind of was.
And yet it really was the lead story here, not the panhandling vote.
A little bit. I mean, because it was Sammy Franco, former business partner with Terrence Frazier, coming up and saying, I want to talk about this audit and trying to ask some questions about it. And, Brianna Calix afterwards wrote this great story where she mentioned that he had said, he wasn't super satisfied with what the council said. And,
well, of course he would.
Yeah. And Sammy Franco was kind of like, okay, just unsure of why, exactly kind of what Joe mentioned, why does this audit say one thing, but the city's attorney is saying another, and we're not sure.
Did you find it odd, though, Jim, that Miguel would ask the question promptly? Hey, where do we stand with this?
Yeah, I did. I definitely did. And it was a quick question and then moving on. And obviously, the city attorney knew that there was going to be a question asked, and the city attorney gave him an answer.
Dare I say it seemed a little staged?
A little bit. It definitely looked a little staged. A couple people who did not agree with the city attorney, because they didn't say anything at all, was the city manager and the mayor. Obviously, two people that the city attorney works for. So I think that there's going to be a lot of other things coming out in regards to this audit and other business dealings of Congressman Cox through this foundation, from what I'm hearing from sources.
And Joe, I'll come back to you because I know you're saying, hey, there's a lot more digging to be done here. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to divulge what you guys are really digging into, but at the same time, you heard Congressman Cox even say, why don't they just thank me for some of the things that I've done? Is it a little bit, different than what the perception of what he's looking at compared to maybe what's out there? What's the middle ground here? Because you're saying there's more digging. Well, what are we going to end up seeing?
His perspective, obviously, is, he felt that he's done something great for the community. But I think the job of a journalist is to find out the facts around a story. And, that's what we're in the process of doing right now. And there's a lot that, probably needs to be uncovered here. And so we continue to try to dig and find out a little bit more about what's really happening. And I think what happened with the city council this week is a good example of that. You have these two very contradictory things happening. You have the city attorney on one end, and then you've got this audit on the other. And so how does all that reconcile? That's the kind of stuff where, journalism is going to be able to step in and, create some digging on this to find out, to get to the facts of the matter, and that's basically what we're doing right now.
And Laura, the fact of the matter is, it seems like, and I asked Miguel, hey, the city council seems divided. That's the perception out there. I know he says, hey, 99% of things, we're voting together on things, but it seems that for some of the bigger issues that they need to tackle, it's very divisive. Is politics now dividing our city council?
I don't necessarily think that. I mean, it's a small city, and I think it's not a small city, it's a large city, but Fresno can seem like a very small place, and if we want to get things done, if city council members want to get things done, they do need to work together. But I also think that there's a lot of room these days to go at every word that somebody says, and so I think maybe sometimes comments can seem really divisive, but I don't know necessarily if that means our city council is divided.
Jim, I know you have a different view of this.
Well, yeah, I think that you have a lot of new council members, on the dais right now, and I think they're learning how to get along. Obviously, Miguel Arias being one of them, Nelson Esparza. We have someone new, obviously, coming in District 2 now that Supervisor Brandow is gone. So I think they're learning how to be council members. I think they're learning how to get along. I think they're learning how to push their initiatives forward and having to play politics with others. You see that with...
But playing politics, that's the word, playing politics.
Absolutely.
They're not supposed to be doing that.
So who said that? If everyone wasn't playing politics, we wouldn't have a show on Sunday mornings.
Well,
I mean, I'm sorry, but...
Well, we thank them for that.
Right,
But
yeah,
come on,
yeah, no,
seriously.
of course they're playing politics. And this is not new, and I think that... I wish there had been social media when Jim Patterson and Bob Long and Dan Ronquillo and Sal Quintero and all these guys were on the dais. That would have been, you want to talk about playing politics. This is nothing. This is minor league stuff compared to what Fresno used to be, okay?
Right.
Things have improved a lot. Okay. So listen, are there going to be times where politics are played? Yes. Do I think that they yell at each other on camera and then when the cameras go off, everyone gets a drink? Yeah, I do. So I'm sorry. They're learning how to be council members, and we'll move forward.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if they can ever figure out this panhandling issue as well, because it's obviously an issue. Are they going to find the right resolution? I know that that's going to be a discussion down the road, but guess what? We got to punctuate it just there.